All right, we're live.
Live.
We're just gonna chill for a moment.
That's right. Because
Mercury is retrograde.
That's what's crazy.
maybe that's why I'm not getting any titles from.
And I think it's a full moon.
It's cold.
It's certainly-
It's not.
It's certainly close if it's
Yeah.
not, because I was looking at it last night. It looked pretty big, but it didn't look quite full. So,
And I turned 71 Friday.
oh my goodness.
Elvis Presley and Richard Franklin died on my birthday. I was crying.
And there we are. Now we can start.
So you knew what the meditation was tonight?
I saw it on Facebook.
That's why you wore that shirt on purpose?
No, I put this on this morning. I put it on this morning.
I love my life.
Isn't
I
that
love
great?
that.
Isn't that great?
Yes. All right. Welcome.
Good evening. I'm Reverend Karen. Thanks to everyone for taking part in the quiet energy work portion of our service. Your cooperation in creating this sacred space is greatly appreciated. You wanna do
Over,
prayer?
yeah. Divine oneness of being that man calls God, ascended masters and teachers, our own personal guides, overlighting angels, the guides who overlight circle of light. Thank you for coming in close at this time. Thank you for working with us and through us as we gather here today to raise our vibration to harmonize with yours. So mote it be.
So mote it be. All right. Please open to the first page of your book, and we'll say together the universal greeting. Yeah, you do that. There will be a brief pause while somebody gets a book. Yeah, leave one for her. As I was saying, please open to the first page of your book, and we'll say together the universal greeting. If this is new to you, please watch the service workers to follow along with the interactive hand movements. I offer you peace. I offer you friendship. I offer you love. I hear your needs. I see your beauty. I feel your feelings. My wisdom flows from a higher source. I salute that source in you. Let us work together. Please turn to the next page, and we'll say together the 9 principles of spiritualism. We believe in infinite intelligence. We believe that the phenomena of nature, both physical and spiritual, are the expression of infinite intelligence. We affirm that a correct understanding of such expression and living in accordance therewith constitute true religion. We affirm that the existence and personal identity of the individual continue after the change called death. We affirm that communication with the so-called dead is a fact, scientifically proven by the phenomena of spiritualism. We believe that the highest morality is contained in the Golden Rule. Whatsoever ye would that others should do unto you, do ye also unto them. We affirm the moral responsibility of the individual, and that we make our own happiness or unhappiness as we obey or disobey nature's physical and spiritual laws. We affirm that the doorway to reformation is never closed against any human soul, here or hereafter. We affirm that the precepts of prophecy and healing contained in all sacred texts are divine attributes proven through mediumship. What do you got for us?
Do I have something for you? You're in
Oh
for a
my
treat.
goodness, the
So-
hero.
We'll be reading a bit from Tarot and the Journey of the Hero by Hajo Banzoff.
I'll
It's German.
guess.
I guess I pronounced it correctly. I don't know, but looks like that.
Probably Hayo.
Hayo.
Yeah,
All right.
probably Czech.
Okay. So today's topic is the moon. I here, I don't know if you can see this on camera, the moon card as illustrated by, oh my gosh, her name just escaped me. Rider Waite. It's something with a C. Anyway. There are variations on this, but the Rider Waite is a standard most people go to. So a little bit from this book. Translated to everyday life, these images mean that the encounter with the powers of the unconscious can be dangerous, and only a strongly developed consciousness has enough strength to avoid being swallowed by the unconscious. The danger of the descent into the underworld leading to withdrawal from the world is great because the following can quickly occur. The actual real world is neglected and forgotten since the flood of images from the unconscious is so intoxicating, so much more beautiful, and so dreamlike in the truest sense of the word. Even Homer warned of the danger of being led into insanity by the powers of the unconscious when he spoke of the two gates of the dreamland. One is made of horn, the other of ivory. The true dreams come from the first one, and the false dreams from the other. This ambivalence was also a reason why the ancient mystery schools were not available to just anyone, but placed high demands on the maturity of the aspirants. In contrast to this, esoteric knowledge is accessible to practically anyone today, even though some information is watered down and true esoteric knowledge is pushed to the edges by superficial hocus pocus. There, in seclusion, it can best blossom. But those who feel attracted to the most simple and comfortable explanations possible and consider them to be the secret knowledge according to which they orient their lives should ask themselves whether they are joyfully engaging in a withdrawal from the world, which will sooner or later strand them in an enchanted forest from which it will be hard to find a way out. So you might already get a hint. This author, this Journey of the Hero appeals to the journey of the hero as described through mythology, and that term made popular by Carl Jung and an author named Joseph Campbell. The moon means emerging from the watery depths and returning to the light. Since ancient times, Saturn, who astrologically corresponds to this card, has been seen as the guardian of this threshold. The moon card is frequently misunderstood today because we primarily connect the moon with romantic images. But here, it means darkness, night, and a deep exploration of the inner spaces. The moon has pushed itself in front of the sun and darkened the light, i.e. eclipse, a natural phenomenon that was usually considered to be a bringer of misfortune and has always been experienced with fear and unease. This card shows a ford, the place of a possible crossing that is always dangerous, and a narrow path that leads to the gray towers, which were first seen in the death card. They are the heralds of the heavenly Jerusalem, symbol of the highest good we can attain. However, the path there is difficult and dangerous. It is guarded by a dog and a wolf. As long as the hero is fascinated by the light side of his anima, the star woman, he will also remain enslaved to her dark aspect. This dark aspect has pushed itself in front of the sun here in the image of the moon. Only when the hero recognizes that the actual goal, the sun, as a symbol of the self, lies behind this darkness, he can escape from the labyrinth or the enchanted woods. I'm going to skip that and go to fear and constriction are two closely related words. Astrology connects these experiences with the planet Saturn, the guardian of the threshold. Saturn is considered to be the wise old man as shown on the Hermit, but the card associated with the Hermit by way of its cross sum, the moon, corresponds with the threshold that Saturn guards. It is a threshold of fear. It exists everywhere in the outside world where we must do something unfamiliar and enter into a new land. But we also experience it at least as intensely within as soon as we enter into the world of the Hermit. Many people become afraid when they are suddenly totally alone in the stillness of a secluded place. At night, without any recognizable external reason, this fear can take even a panic-like characteristic. Seen in psychological terms, this is the fear of the unconscious that forces its way through the threshold of consciousness from which we run away to the extent that we flee from stillness and loneliness. Oh, baby. Carl Jung once compared the modern person with a house owner who hears an inexplicable sound at night that is coming from the cellar. In order to calm himself, he goes up to the attic, turns on the light there, and discovers that it wasn't anything at all. Going to the attic, which means into the head, and explaining away everything that could make us afraid is easy. On the other hand, going into the cellar, into the rooms that are dark, musty, and smell like mold, triggers an oppressive feeling. And it is difficult for us because we encounter our dark side here. This is why we constantly divert ourselves in everyday life so that our vital energy flows into external objects. But when we are alone and in the stillness, it flows into the unconscious and activates all the contents that we had already suppressed so beautifully. So, as anyone who knows anything about how humans work, you can't escape it. What? You can't escape it. The stuff that's inside of you will come out somewhere, somehow, and as I've said many times, the number one, by far, best vehicle we have for learning is relationships. That other person will bring your crap to the forefront sooner or later. So, a little overview here. Keywords for the moon: archetype, the night, daybreak. Task, the tightrope walk. Cautiously overcoming the threshold of fear, not getting lost or losing oneself. Goal, return to the light. Risk, getting lost in the enchanted woods, missing the goal, becoming enslaved by fear. Feeling in life, irritations and insecurity, nightmares, fears, and yearning. So, unless they change it between now and then, our guides will accompany us into the shadow realm, just like the dog and the wolf on the card. You've heard shadow work. This is exactly where shadow work comes from. I think it was Carl Jung who also coined that term. It's all about going inward and cleaning up, like using that basement or cellar analogy, opening up those old boxes, throwing away the shit that doesn't belong there anymore, and healing.
Well, you were also making reference to Saturn.
Yep.
And Saturn is a planet of constraints, right? It's the counterpoint to Jupiter. Jupiter is expansion. Saturn is, it's time to bring all that back together. So the idea of losing yourself, the effect of Saturn to me is to help bring everything back together so that you are, working as a whole. You're making yourself whole by getting in there and doing that work.
Integration.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
We welcome your donations to help us maintain our presence in the community. You may donate via our website, circleoflightstl.org, or on our Facebook page. We thank you for your donations. All funds received help us in our mission to seek, develop, and teach the knowledge of the relationship between humanity and spirit. The crystal globe displayed here is filled with prayer and energy for healing Mother Earth and all her children. Everyone is welcome to contribute prayers for world peace and world healing. We invite you to add your energies to this sacred sharing. We will now say the prayer for spiritual healing found on the next page, after which there will be a short silence for you to softly say the names of anyone that you would like to receive extra healing this week. I ask the great unseen healing force to remove all obstructions from my mind and body and to restore me to perfect health. I ask this in all sincerity and honesty, and I will do my part. I ask the great unseen healing force to help both present and absent ones who are in need of help and to restore them to perfect health. I put my trust in the love and power of God. Current announcements.
Class tonight. Oracles and divination.
Nice. Next week, of course, is the last Sunday of the month, so there will be a meditation by Melina. I don't know if you have one scheduled for the 25th. Of course, you wouldn't have one.
No. It would be for the fall wait a minute, where am I? Okay, 25th will be the last Sunday, then in September 8th will be the next class.
Correct.
Power to Heal.
Power to Heal. Okay, so that'll be September 8th.
So the full title of that is The Will to Change is the Power to Heal. And we're going to talk about, we're going to start by establishing the principle that behind every disease and disorder is a mental and emotional cause, and then going to basically how to heal that.
Which harkens back to the fact that every plane of existence is ruled by the plane above it.
Yep.
So in order to heal yourself mentally, you have to come at it from the spiritual plane. To heal yourself emotionally, you come at it from the mental plane. And to heal yourself physically, you come at it from the emotional plane. So it's a cascade. You start from the top, you work your way down. Once again, we thank you for your donations, and Reverend William will lead us in a prayer over the offering.
Great Spirit, all that is, thank you for filling these gifts with your divine light, maximizing their potential. So mote it be.
So mote it be. We now come to the message portion of the service. Please actively listen to each message. As these come from universal source via our guides, they may be tailored for the individual, but they deliver wisdom to the whole. Please address questions about messages to the message bearer after service. To welcome each of our spirit workers, we sing together to raise the vibrations in our circle. We view the word God as a universal term for deity rather than signifying any one particular path. I'll be the message bearer this evening. If you would sing Revive Us Again.
Four? Revive Us Again.
Whichever one that is. Verses 1 and 2. Oh, goodness.
Is it number 4?
Yes.
All right.
Hey, I was right. How about that?
We praise thee, O God, for the Son of thy love, for Jesus who died and has now gone above. Hallelujah, I'm spiritus, hallelujah, amen. Hallelujah, I'm spiritus, revive us again. We praise thee, O God, for the Spirit of light, who's shown us our Savior and scattered our night. Hallelujah, I'm spiritus, hallelujah, amen. Hallelujah, I'm spiritus, revive us again.
Okay. I'm Reverend Karen, and I am working tonight with some people who are a little trigger happy, so they have been butting in early. Dr. Pasteur, White Mountain Running Buffalo. William E. You know, it used to be the accepted knowledge that when you were trying to correct a behavior in someone else, whether that was an animal or a small child or something, you started with a physical punishment. And we are moving away from that now, that it is less damaging and more likely to get the behavior you want by redirection, by redirecting the individual more towards the behavior that you would prefer. So Spirit is saying, there's someone out there that's behaving in a way that's really, twisting your shorts, and your immediate response is to go, will you knock it the hell off? But, this is someone you're going to have to continue to deal with. So that's not useful. A better path is to, how can I direct this person towards the behavior that I'm really looking for? How can I, maybe it's a distraction. There are any number of ways to redirect them in a way that makes them feel secure and does not seem so punitive. Nancy. Spirit often gives me imagery that involves pulling a rope. And the meaning of pulling the rope is that you are trying to bring a goal to you. And the size of that goal is usually represented by how big that rope is. But Spirit is saying, what's the worst? I mean, the worst is you're pulling at that goal and you're pulling, and then suddenly you realize there is nothing at the end of it. That all of that effort was for nothing. That is the most aggravating thing ever, because you're like, why did I put all this effort into it and I'm getting nothing out of it? Well, you did get the experience of pulling. I know it doesn't seem very useful because, you were expecting a payoff at the end and you didn't get it. But Spirit wants you to try to think of it in terms of the journey rather than the outcome. As disappointing and frustrating as it is to not get the result you were looking for, Spirit wants you to know that it was not wasted effort. It has other repercussions of which you are not currently aware. Ellie. Ellie, Spirit is showing you as the conductor. So you're up there and you've got your conductor's baton and you tap it on the stand and you're ready to, conduct the orchestra, and you look out and there is no orchestra. Sometimes we're so focused on looking at the person who's in charge, for lack of a better term, that we lose sight of all the people that make that person important. The conductor has nothing if he has no orchestra. So, where is it in your life that you are being asked to be in that leadership position, but you don't see the support that would allow you to make that position tenable? Are they being driven away from you? Are they being driven away by you? Or is it simply a case of they have not yet recognized that they need to show up for you? Maybe that needs to be made more explicit to them, that you can't do this on your own. You need them to help you. The goal of making beautiful music together is impossible without them. Reverend William. Reverend William, we look at choral, and it's so easy to forget what you're supposed to be focusing on when you're looking at the choral. We're used to the limestone bits that have been, secreted by the creature. But that's not the coral. The coral is a living organism that lives within that protection. So Spirit is saying, are you missing something because you're focused on the package rather than the contents? It's the contents that are important, not the package it's wrapped in. Lois.
Yes, ma'am.
Lois, we're used to the idea that you flip a coin, it's a 50-50 chance as to whether it comes up heads or tails. It's completely random. Some people have the mistaken idea that it's not random, it's random. But you're like, I am an optimist. I am a glass half full person as far as I am concerned, and what I carry with me is a coin. It has two heads. So I can flip it and I can call heads, and I'm always going to be right because that's the attitude that I'm going into the situation with. If you're going into the situation knowing that, it's an optimistic thing and it's going to work one way or the other, then, there's no chance here. There's no chance of failure. There is only success.
I think I know.
Okay. Do you want a message?
Please.
So, there are some skills that used to be very common, and they are being lost because we have other ways to entertain ourselves, because they require a very specific esoteric skill that nobody practices anymore. I mean, there are a lot of reasons why some sort of traditional things get lost. And it's like losing a language. in and of itself, it doesn't seem like a big thing, but it's one particular special nuanced color of society that we've lost the ability to see. And even if we don't recognize that, it adds up. And then suddenly everything, we see things becoming more polarized in black and white, and we go, where did all the nuance go? It's like, well, it all fell by the wayside piece by piece, and we didn't notice, and now, what do we do now? The Spirit says, try to keep that sense of nuance, of those finer degrees, those things that are less common. Find ways to keep those old ways alive. It's those particular colors and flavors and sounds that make our society richer and give us more pathways as we work towards evolution and reunification. That's it. These days, if you go to a tattoo parlor, they've got a special little machine that will put that ink down. But of course, we know that's not how it used to be done. Usually it involved, making your own ink out of whatever was available to make the ink out of, and finding the sharpest thing that you could find to poke it into the skin with. Is that better than the way we do it now? No, not necessarily. It's just different. It exists as a way to see how things have changed through time. Just like in her message, it was all about the nuance. This is more about seeing how we've evolved and seeing what the next steps are in our evolution, how we take things to the next level, how we go from these very simple concepts to these more advanced concepts, to these concepts that, only a very few people have any idea what the hell they're talking about when they talk about these things. There are a lot of things out there. There was a time when you could know pretty much the main corpus of knowledge that there was in the world. There's no way to do that now. And that's not a bad thing. It's just a different thing. We are moving at a faster and faster pace. Spirit says maybe that is increasing the rate that we are evolving so that we get to reunification sooner. Who knows? Consider what it is in your life that you can take to that next level of evolution that will assist you the most as you work your path in future.
Perfect, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for allowing me to stand between the worlds.
Thank you. Over here.
We now move into the message. We'll now move into the meditation for this evening, which is by Reverend William.
Thank you. We invite you to assume a comfortable position. If you have a meditation practice, you can employ that introduction now. We encourage you to have your arms and legs uncrossed to allow a freer energy flow through you. We ask you to observe your breathing. Simply give your attention to your breath. Notice as you breathe mindfully your body automatically relaxes. As your body reaches deeper and deeper relaxation, your mind calms down too. Your thoughts settle. You may even already feel the comfort of our guides in spirit being near and establishing a sacred space for this experience. As your body relaxes, your mind stills, your heart becomes easy and free of burden. All the cares and concerns of the everyday world float away like bubbles. If any of those things are really important, they can come back later. Until then, you are free of them. And as the thoughts that normally occupy your mind dissipate, settle, you notice in the center of your being, near the area of your heart, a flame, a light. This is your true essence. Cause that light to expand, filling your entire body, all the way down the soles of your feet, out to your fingertips and up to the top of your head. Now cause that aura to expand beyond your body, filling that area just beyond your physical body, also holding space for this experience. Now with your body very relaxed, your heart at ease, your mind still, you find it easy to turn your attention further and further inward, and further inward, and further inward. Until you find yourself in another place, near water. Doesn't matter what kind of water. Lake, river, ocean, doesn't matter. You go to that water. You find the sound and the feeling of this water very comforting. And you feel that the water washes away even more of the things that may have been burdening you until now. You come out of the water. and you notice an animal. This animal volunteers to escort you for this journey. You may find yourself comforted and empowered by the presence of this animal. You begin to wander. And it doesn't take long to find a hole, whether it's a rabbit hole or a burrow in the ground, perhaps a hole in a tree, or even a small cave. And you are compelled to go into that hole. It may be exciting, maybe a little scary because it's dark, but you have your animal companion and you have Mother Earth herself as part of this journey. Where this takes you is up to your guides, your animal guide, Mother Earth, and whatever's inside of you that needs healing. Down into the earth. Mentally note how easy this is, this part of the process. Is it like a water slide and you just go right in, or is it more work than that? Do you have to dig a little bit? Is it wide open? Is it constricted? How does it feel? Is there a temperature? Eventually, you come to an opening in the earth. Observe your surroundings. In this place, literally in Mother Earth, with your animal guide and your own spirit guides and our collective guides, you have found a place, you have discovered a place where you are free to unload anything you want to unload. Notice how that comes to you visually. What do you see? A person, a place, a thing, a voice, a song, a feeling. These are all clues from your unconscious mind. Remember, if at any time this becomes at all stressful, you have plenty of help around you. Your true self shows you anything that is between you, your conscious mind, and your true self. What is it within me that is beneficial to heal right here, right now? What is holding me back? What is a core belief that I have about myself that is not true? Unlike shadows in your waking life, here, the shadow reveals. Or one might say, it is here the shadow is revealed. As this emerges, as the wound takes a form you can understand, you might ask, what is the antidote? What new core belief shall replace this old one? How much processing or work that requires is completely up to you. Some beliefs you will find easy to release. You will recognize right away, this no longer suits me. Some others might take a little more convincing. Nonetheless, you have already initiated the process. There is only one thing that is inevitable and unstoppable in the universe. That is change. When examined at the levels of the very small, like subatomic, and the very large, as in cosmic, everything is in motion and transforming all the time. And you are responsible for only one little tiny speck, and that is yourself. Give yourself permission to change. Give yourself permission to heal. This process may bring up a question. In what or in whom do I place my trust? As none of you here are small children, you realize you have been lied to. you have believed things that you now realize are completely not true. And some of those things are about yourself. So why would you want to carry that any longer if you know it's not really you? We encourage you to release this with love. Releasing it or pretending to release it with anger will be a boomerang that you do not want to experience. If you find that you are unable at this moment to release it with love and completely release it, just let it be. Know that as you develop, as you still your mind, as you reveal to yourself the truth about yourself, this burden will disappear. The wound will heal without you actively applying any balm. We are simply giving you some quiet space to let this process transform you. As this process continues, some of you may feel raw or exposed. That is natural. You may have already noticed that this healing process will challenge your attachment to your wound. Sometimes we are quite invested in a certain identity. In this culture, it often centers around something like, I am a survivor. I am a fighter. No one can hurt me. Do you still need that? Do you need that identity? In this quiet space with all this spiritual support, a new belief will emerge for each of you. Rather than, for example, I am protected, how about I am empowered? As you can see from this inner perspective, your beliefs create your reality. We congratulate you for making it as far as you have. And we would like each of you to thank yourselves. Thank you, self, for keeping me alive. Thank you, self, for getting me this far. That is self-love. Love yourself so much that you don't need approval from anyone else. Accept yourself so completely, nothing else matters. Again, thank you for engaging in this process. Now that we are each consciously engaged and involved in our healing at a very deep level, we can let that healing continue as we gently return ourselves to the surface. Just know within yourself this will continue, and allow yourself to just rise to the surface. And standing here on the surface of the earth, you might look down at your body and appreciate it. Thanks for carrying me so far for so long. And choose to fully embody this body. Choose to be fully present in your body at this time. Cause yourself to be in this moment and in this place now. Bring your attention fully and completely back to the present moment, all the way down to the soles of your feet, out to your fingertips and up to the top of your head. Breathe. And when you're ready, please open your eyes. Prayer?
You bet.
Oh, God. Divine oneness of being, ascended masters and teachers, our own overlighting angels and beings in spirit, thank you for accompanying us on this journey. Thank you for overlighting our path henceforth as we continue to reunite ourselves with you, so mote it be.
So much being. Thank you all for being in our circle of light. Please stand with us in unity as we sing together, Let There Be Peace on Earth.
Yeah, okay. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let me walk with my family in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every breath I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Hugs are optional.
You want an optional hug?
Oh, yeah, I got